Hello and welcome back to another video. I'm Chelsea. This is the Chelsea's Reads channel. Today this video is going to be my first big book haul of the year 2024. Very excited. Never did a video like this, so I'm just gonna hop in. I have quite a few books that I've gotten since the beginning of the year. And then I had a birthday a few weeks ago, so I got a few books from a few family members, and then I also cashed in a couple gift cards the other day. So I do have quite the stack, and I'm pretty excited. There's a mixture of some next in a series type books. There's a few in here I've already read and just really wanted a physical copy of. And then I have a bunch of new stuff too. So let's just jump in. So we got Emily Wilde's Map of the Otherlands. This is the sequel to Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies. And this book just came out, I want to say last month, and I haven't heard too much about it. I really liked the Encyclopedia of Fairies. It was a very unique, different story, kind of a more, I don't want to say cozy romance because I don't typically like those, but it kind of was. We were following Emily Wilde, obviously. She's a professor and she studies fae, and there's a love interest, which it has like a slow burn love interest that was very fun in the first one. And I don't want to say too much about this one because obviously there's a book that's already out, but I'm very excited to get into this one, hopefully very soon. These three I'm just gonna do together. They're all by Abby Jimenez, which is one of my favorite contemporary romance writers. She wrote Yours Truly and Part of Your World, which I loved. So we have Life's Too Short, The Friend Zone, and the Happily Ever After playlist. And I've heard good things about all of these, so I'm very excited. She has another new book coming out later this year, so I wanted to have more of her on my shelf because although I don't read a ton of romance, I do like as a palate cleanser to read like a rom-com or contemporary romance sometimes. So I definitely want to go through these when I have a second. Now we have The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. This is by V.E. Schwab. I actually have a couple from V.E. Schwab in here. I've heard nothing but good things about this book. It's not something I typically read. It's kind of the person who told me about it said it's not really fantasy. It's kind of more like a historical fiction novel with some magical elements in it. So I'm very intrigued by that. Magical realism, I do enjoy in books. And I know it's just about Addie LaRue and she can't age, and that's literally all I know about it. But I've heard so many good things and I see a lot of good reviews, so I definitely want to read this in the future. Then we have Slaying the Vampire Conqueror by Carissa Broadbent. This I am going to definitely read probably next week. It's on my February TBR to be read. I love everything that I've ever read by Carissa Broadbent. This is another fantasy romance by her. It's in the same world as the Crowns of Nyaxia series, which has vampires, and I believe in this, she's an assassin who's blind, who's sent in to assassinate a vampire conqueror, and there's a little romance that happens in that. Carissa Broadbent does a really good job juggling the romantic elements and the fantasy elements in all of her novels. So I'm super excited, and this is probably one like I said, it's in my February TBR, so I'm hopefully gonna read it within the next week or so. I've been really fascinated by this author, Jennifer Saint, and Electra. She's got a few other books that are sort of like Greek mythology based, and I picked this up. I almost got like all of them from her, but I want to see if I enjoy her writing and her writing style, and then I'll just see if I like it enough to get the other ones. But this one sounded most intriguing to me, so I'm gonna probably put this on one of my TBRs in the next upcoming couple of months. This is another one, Heavenly Bodies, that I've literally have seen all over the place. A lot of booktubers talk about it. It's a bit of a chunker, so I'm not sure when exactly I'm gonna be reading it, but it's another fantasy romance. I like the element of like the zodiacs in it, and I just heard it's a really good like enemies to lovers type situation. So I can't wait to start this one. I'm so excited. Bride by Allie Hazelwood is finally out. I just got this the other day. Allie Hazelwood is one of my favorite authors. She typically writes, she was the writer of The Love Hypothesis, typically writes like STEM romances, contemporary romances. This is her first forte into fantasy, and it just sounds like a really fun time. I love her writing. She's got a really funny way of writing and also like very heartfelt. So I can't wait. It's gonna be between a werewolf and a vampire too. So that just sounds amazing. And I plan on, this is another one that's part of my February TBR. So I do literally plan on picking this up next. Then we have The Butcher and Blackbird by Brian Weaver. Am I saying that right? Brian Weaver, maybe? Another one that I've been seeing a bunch. Me and my husband were actually talking about this book the other day, but he won't read it with me, so I'm gonna read it. And I debated listening to it on audio, but I saw the cover and I love the feel of this cover too. So I'm definitely gonna be reading this. It's not in my February TBR, but I've been seeing it everywhere and it just sounds fun. They're two serial killers, and then they have like they're both serial killers, and then they have like a romance. And I hear that it's good on the spice side and has some gore in there, and I don't really read too many horror gore things anymore, but this sounds like a really fun one. And I think they just kind of slowly fall in love, and they basically kill other serial killers. I think it's like a Dexter situation where they're like not supposed to be all that bad, but you know. So I can't wait. This sounds like a really good time. I don't know when I'm gonna read it. Hopefully, I don't think I'll fit it in this month, but soon, very soon for this one. Okay, then we have both of these. Yay! The House of the Cerulean Sea and Under the Whispering Door. These I got for my birthday. My mom bought me both of these. They've been on my list for a little while, by TJ Klune. I just love, I mean, the covers alone, I just love the fantasy vibe. I heard they're like very cozy and they look like really fun fantasy novels, and I've heard really good things, and I'm very excited to get into TJ Klune. I have another book by V. Schwab, Darker Shade of Magic. I think I mentioned this on my 24 books to read in 2024 video. As one of the series I would really, really like to get into. So I bought the first one. I know this has got a big following. I think this is, I'm not totally even sure. I know it takes place in London and has to do with magicians. So sounds like a lot of fun. I like a good fantasy. It's a trilogy, so I'm excited to get into that. I only bought the first one for now, but hopefully I'll really end up liking it and I will get the rest of them soon. I hope I like the Schwab's writing style, because I really want to get into this author this year. I've got a few things that I have actually already read, but I wanted physical copies of, or I just filmed a contemporary romance vlog. So a couple of these books I read. For that, You Again by Kate Goldbeck and Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher. You Again is a really cute story. I loved the cover. It gave me big When Harry Met Sally vibes, and it is supposed to, it literally says on the back cover that it's a retelling of that story, but I could have told you that from the cover of this, and that's one of my favorite movies. So I will let you can watch the vlog to see all my thoughts, but I really, really liked this one, and I'm glad I own it. And then also Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher. This is the first book I read by Lauren Asher. And this is also a contemporary romance, kind of a childhood friends, rivals to lovers type situation for this one. And then I had to get Six Scorched Roses by Carissa Broadbent. This is a novella, also part of the Crumbs and the Axia series. I just want to own basically every book that Carissa Broadbent has written. I read this last month in January, and it was like one of my favorite books of the month, even though it's short. It's just a novella, but it's such a sweet love story between Lilith and Vale. Such a good love story. Really loved this one. Glad I have a physical copy of it now. Same with these books I've just read in the past that I really just wanted a physical copy of, both by Ellie Hazelwood. I've got Love on the Brain and The Love Hypothesis. These were the STEM novels that I was talking about that she is more well known for. I, for whatever reason, only owned a physical copy of Love Theoretically. And I read this one through the library on Kindle. And then I audiobooked this one a couple of years ago. I just loved it. So I never owned either one. And I'm glad that I have them because I think I want to reread a bunch of hers at some point. So we are almost done. Last few. This giant book. I will read at some point this year. I am very excited. It's 11/22/63 by Stephen King. It's been on my list for a while and I went, you know what, you need to just buy it because then eventually you will read it, which I'm not usually that type of person. I just kind of buy things as I want to read them, but this has been on my list a while. It's a little intimidating. Look how big this is. The story sounds so fun. It's basically kind of a time traveling story where they're trying to stop the assassination of JFK. I really don't know too much other than that, but it's by Stephen King, so obviously it's going to be amazing. I've read a few things from him in the past and really have liked his writing, like everybody else. So I'm definitely wanting to give this one a shot. I'm thinking, I have so many books on my list right now, but I'm thinking, and it's so big, I'm thinking this will be a little later, probably more in the summertime, but I can't wait, and I'm really glad that I own this now because I'm gonna force myself to read it. Not that I don't think I will like it, it's a bit intimidating because it's such a large book and I know it's just gonna take a little while, but probably sometime this summer. And then my last couple are both by R.F. Kuang. Babel by R.F. Kuang. This was another book that I wanted to do. It was in my video, 24 books for 2024. Heard a lot about it. Dark academia vibes, fantasy elements. Heard it's really sad, and this is another one where I've just been a little intimidated by because I don't want it to be sad, but I know it's going to be. So I'm excited to hopefully read that at some point this year. And then this other one by her is Yellowface, and this was on the Goodreads list of everything last year and was one of the most popular books of the year. This also sounds really fun, very different vibe. It's more about the publication industry to kind of rival authors. That's the word, authors. So two rival authors, and then one of them dies, and then she takes her unwritten story, something like that. I haven't even read the back cover or anything. I've just heard that it's really, really good, and I really want to get into R.F. Kuang and see if I enjoy her writing style, and these seem like two very different types of stories, but they sound amazing. So that is my haul. I had quite a few. How many did I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 books. 21 books, wow. I don't usually buy a ton of books all at once, but like I said, I had some gift cards I wanted to cash in, and I had my birthday, so I got a few things for that. And then there's a few series that I'm in the middle of that I wanted to get to the next ones of. So this was fun. I'm glad you guys watched this video. Hopefully I'll do another fun haul video after I read all of these books. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe to my channel, and then I will see you in the next one.